I'm not going to lie to you, Assetto Corsa EVO's latest update has actually changed the game. The new cars do feel different, performance has definitely improved, and by the way, making money is now easier than ever, and they are probably going to fix this very soon. But not everything is perfect, there are still many issues with the game, and there's something very tantalizing for a lot of sim racers as well. I'm going to show you what's really going on. Today we are talking about Assetto Corsa EVO version 0.1.6, 2 new cars, a new track, promises of changes to the AI system and other improvements. I've been playing it a lot and here's what's going on. So firstly, you can make money now in Assetto Corsa EVO easier than ever. Like, they're going to make this way more difficult, so if you want to get money, now's your chance. So obviously you get credits for the races, but really repeating the driving academy and getting the 3 stars is just like, you can just rack up credits. I don't feel short of credits. I've bought a load of cars in the game and no doubt they're going to tighten this up. To give you an example, this is me doing for the first time one of the academy tests at Laguna Seca in the Ferrari 296, which is such a fun car to drive, and we're going to get onto this later because it makes me suspicious how good this car is to drive. And I completely missed the apex here. Like, when I do the guide video for this this particular hypercar set of challenges, I will have to redo that or let you know that it's not the line. You can see here actually this time sort of smashing the curb. But look at the difference we're going to get here for the 3 stars. Like, we absolutely destroy it. It's unreal. And that's with a bad lap. So I do have a guide out for sports cars. You can go check that out after this video. But there you go, 12,500 credits just for that. So you can imagine just rinsing these sort of academy tests. You're going to get a lot of money in your wallet. I think it's too easy. I don't think they're advanced enough to really know what the standard is. I doubt they have the testing capacity. However, we need a leaderboard on that as soon as possible. Now let's get to the cars. We're going to start with the Lamborghini Huracan EVO. Now, I was actually recently at the Lamborghini Super Trofeo World Finals in Jerez, seeing a lot of these cars, in a lot of these cars, doing, well, being a passenger in a hot lap. And I can tell you, this car at Fuji felt so numb and boring. I was really scared for the future of Assetto Corsa EVO. We are going to talk about Fuji the track as well, by the way, in this video. In fact, we're going to talk about everything in this update. It's all coming. However, I then took the car to Suzuka and I had one of the best experiences I've ever had in sim racing, whether it was the time of day. Obviously, I love Suzuka. We're doing the E circuit here, so it's just like all the goodness, no fat. And I just felt at one with the Lamborghini. That kind of sensation when you get on the throttle and the rear pushes around was absolutely amazing. I was having just one of the best experiences in sim racing it's possible for me to have. I'm very happy in these sort of AI races, hot lapping, which is weird because on this channel I do a lot of online competition in Top Split and Gran Turismo and stuff like that. And actually, it was quite profound and it took me back to driving these sort of cars in real life, my time racing cars in real life. And actually, there's a lot of debate at the moment about whether Assetto Corsa EVO has a realistic handling model or not, the force feedback, and we're going to get into that in the Lancia in particular. And I've driven, you know, Ferrari GT3 with power steering. I've raced Mazda MX-5s, done a lot of karting with no power steering. And there are some aspects that are realistic, some aspects are not so realistic, but fundamentally, I'm trying to feel a sensation of racing and being lost in the game. I'm not in my room anymore, I'm not on a Moser wheel or whatever. I'm actually just like driving this car in a sim. The same way as when you play any good game, you kind of go into that. And something that really struck me was in the Lancia, the way the suspension in Assetto Corsa EVO is so pronounced. And I've just never felt this in Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo, now I think of it, always makes me feel like... I see why people say it's arcadey, like on a controller, even though I play Gran Turismo on the wheel on my Logitech G Pro very seriously, and I really enjoy it, and I still think it's the best racing experience you can get, especially competitively. But look at the cars the way here, the Lancia, when you brake, they kind of go up on their haunches, all the weight slams forward. That is so realistic in my experience of driving and racing cars like this, where the suspension isn't slammed, it's not like a Formula 1 car. And in reality, what that gives you, if you come into Laguna Seca Turn 1, as you slam on the brakes, because of the camber, because you're turning in slightly, look at my steering angle, when you get on the brakes, it will be so sketchy in real life. You will feel all the weight, you won't have the traction on the rear, and it makes every braking zone a really exciting and scary event. Look at this in my Mazdas. We brake, the weight goes to the front, you go down the gears, more changes to the cars, you engage in the clutch, and then you get on the power and the rear wheels grip, and if you've done a good exit, you'll get your overtake done. One of the most satisfying things you can do. So we're going to explore that a lot more in Assetto Corsa EVO. I wish they would make the braking a bit more difficult to recognise that. Right, I promised I'd tell you about Fuji, my honest thoughts. And my honest thoughts are, Fuji seems a bit weird. Like, no doubt Fuji has been ready since the launch of Assetto Corsa EVO in early access. They've just kind of held it back as a nice DLC thing. But it doesn't feel that engaging. And also there's been some kind of graphics downgrade, and I am going to talk about performance later in this video. But you can see here on the left hand side, this was me in a previous build driving the Audi at Laguna Seca. You can see all the settings on max, and all the settings are on max on the right hand side. So unless there's been some kind of glitch, which I don't think there has been, because you can see the quality of the assets is extremely high. There's been some kind of downgrade, but also Fuji, there's so much camber at Fuji. I hate this third sector. And it's this awkward camber to awkward camber, and it should feel like the car is kind of like pivoting and nothing is nicely balanced and awkward. And it just didn't really. It just kind of felt flat, which is very disappointing. Now, on performance, there have been some huge gains on the performance front. So your ears might be pricking up now if you're playing on like a 3060, 4060. I am going to be playing on a 4060 Ti, which has been struggling a lot, and I'm really hopeful I'm going to get a good 60 FPS experience now, because on my 4090, yes, it's a beast of a card. The game is running much, much, much smoother. I can actually perceive it. I'm running this right now locked to 60 for the purposes of recording, but when I had it unlocked at a higher frame rate, I could feel the benefit of those frames, where it starts to feel more arcadey, for lack of... I don't mean arcadey in terms of not a sim, arcadey in terms of back of the day. You go to the arcade and there's a higher refresh screens and everything, and it just felt a bit better. You do get that sensation. And even here in the Porsche Super Cup in Imola, 28 cars on track, mad weather effects, and the 4090 is handling it absolutely fine. And for the first time I could actually perceive how this might be a very good online game if they can get it all working, because I've never felt the cars to be that stable in relation to one another in EVO before until this update. So performance is big, and that's going to be big for a certain group of sim racers. Obviously that's the VR community, because now you might be able to get those 90 Hz, maybe 120 Hz frame rate in your VR headset, and if they can achieve that, this is going to be a real standout VR game. I'm going to be doing a lot of VR videos on this channel, by the way, using different headsets, but also including my Pimax headset, and hopefully going to be reviewing a lot more headsets this year. It's going to be a really exciting year of VR. So let me know in the comments if you want to see that. Put a glasses emoji so I know. Make sure you're subscribed if you want to see more. I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time.